You'll see at the bottom of the page there are how we split up our regions across Victoria into both Melbourne Renegades, which is the red side, and then Melbourne Stars, which is the green side, those regions. The staff that you will deal with through your club that are connected to Cricket Victoria will be our cricket managers, and they fall into either the red or green regions as well. And then I work closely with them in the Woolworths Cricket Blast space, as well as the female funding programs that we have as well. The little picture of me there is me and one of my colleagues at a packed MCG Boxing Day test, which is one of my favourite days on the calendar. And fingers crossed we'll be able to get back there with at least 80,000 this year and get to run the kids out at the lunch break, which is always a highlight. I'm going to pass over to Akshay, who's going to introduce himself.
Thanks, Em. G'day, everybody. My name is Akshay Kodot, and I work as a junior programs lead for the Stars region. So similar role as M's, but just on the other side of town. So anything green that you can see on the map is the region that I'd be working closely with to help you grow the sport and promote the sport in that region. The picture there that you can see is me during lockdown when I was doing a cricket program for a school online. So just trying to deliver a fun, engaging cricket program from my backyard. So that's something that I did for my previous job, and now I'm here as a junior programs lead for the Melbourne Stars region. So now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, who's going to speak, who's going to introduce himself. And over to you, Skip.
Fantastic. Thank you, mate. Hello, everyone. My name is Owen Hewlett, and I am the Head of Participation at Cricket Victoria. So my role is to work closely with both M and AK in leading Cricket Blast across the state, as well as focusing on a lot of our school participation. And junior cricket as well. So really all encompassing everything that kids do in cricket from the age of 4 or 5 right through to when they transition to senior cricket. The photo there is a picture of me up on stage in the Renegades mascot outfit, making an absolute fool of myself. That was actually at an event or an activation that we had outside the MCG during the recent Women's T20 World Cup, which is a fantastic event and actually one of the last events that we got underway before COVID hit. So reminiscing on some good times there. So just looking at the agenda for tonight, so some things that we're going to tick off on. The first one being returning to Cricket Blast in a COVID-safe environment. So obviously a really hot topic at the moment with the easing of restrictions and soon to be coming under 80% double dose vaccination. So returning to train and play in community sport, which is very exciting. So we'll be taking you through some of the main things to be across in regards to returning your Cricket Blast program in a COVID-safe environment. We'll have some great tips for running a fun and engaging program for not just the kids, but also for parents and volunteers. So hopefully some great things there that you can take away and implement into your own program. We're also very lucky to have Kristen Penny joining us a little later on. So she is the brand and marketing manager at Cricket Victoria. So she's going to jump on and talk to you about how to promote your program and hopefully share some really great tips and also give you the chance to ask her any questions and take any feedback on how you might be promoting your program within your community. And then we'll finish off by showing you some supporting resources that will be there to help you in running your program. So we'll provide some links and where to find those a little later on. I'll now pass over to AK, who's going to take you through the Australian Junior Cricket Pathway. Over to you, mate.
Thanks, Ho. Before I get into this slide, can I get everybody to just use the chat function again and tell us how many years of experience you've had as a blast coordinator? I did see a few of them respond to that prior to we starting this meeting, but again, it'd be nice to just gauge the amount of experience we have on this call. So use the chat function and fire away. So this infographic here is the Australian Junior Cricket Pathway. it is a staged approach that starts with your entry-level programs on the left. That's your Junior Blaster and your Master Blaster program, which then feeds into your various junior cricket formats. Again, this is a sustainable pathway model. It helps the club provide a holistic environment for young cricketers to grow and develop and fall in love with the game that we all love. All these formats promote active participation, so it's meant to be short and sharp, trying to engage with all your blasters and your cricket participants on a good level so that you can provide them with useful skills that are going to help them grow and develop as cricketers. From a junior blast or a blast coordinator perspective, you would be dealing with the two blocks on the left there, which is the junior blaster and your master blaster program. So the junior blaster program is for kids aged 5 to 7, and it runs for 60 minutes. So short and sharp, trying to keep them engaged and active for that 60 minutes. In the junior blaster space, you teach them new basic skills that are required to that are going to help them grow as cricketers. So you're going to teach them new skills through fun activities that you and your blast crew run for 60 minutes. Again, you can see it's a great opportunity for young blasters to work as a team, make new friends, and make memories playing our beautiful sport. With the Master Blaster program, it's for kids aged 7 to 10. It's meant to go on for a slightly longer period, so 90 minutes, which encompasses both skill development and a modified game of cricket. So it is a progression from a Junior Blaster program where kids start to put in all the skills that they've learned during the Junior Blaster experience into modified games of cricket. Both these programs promote active participation, so making sure everyone's engaged and pick a lot of good things that are going to help them throughout their cricketing journeys. I can see a lot of good responses coming through there. So we're right from no experience to a lot of experience. So keep getting those comments in, and we will answer a lot of your questions that are going to help you in your Cricket Blast coordinator journeys. Okay, having said that, I'm going to pass it over back to O, who's going to talk to you about some return to Cricket Blast guidelines and things that help you negate the COVID environment this summer. Over to you, O.
Thank you, Akshay. So as we laid out in the agenda, we're going to now talk about returning to Cricket Blast in a COVID-safe environment. So this first slide details what are your club's responsibilities in ensuring that you do return in a COVID-safe environment. So the first one there is a COVID-19 safety officer. So this is a position that your club, so your club president, club committee, or junior coordinator should have appointed already. So what I might ask is just to get a general feel, if you can put in the chat if you do know who your COVID-19 safety officer is at your club. That would give us a really good idea if people are in the know of who that is. And if you don't, it's definitely something that we recommend speaking to your club president or your junior coordinator or whoever your key contact is at your club to get that person's details. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about, it's not necessarily your responsibility to be across everything as a Woolworths Cricket Blast coordinator, which is exactly why we have these positions, or we're recommending clubs have these positions in place. So your COVID-19 safety officer will be across everything that you need to put in place as a club to ensure you're meeting the requirements. The second point there is your association and club COVID-19 plan. So this is something that your club committee, it might even be a COVID-19 safety officer that has led this, should have created. There's a fantastic template on the link in the final dot point there on our COVID-19 resources website. We've created a template for this plan, and it essentially just lists all of your responsibilities to, again, ensure that your club is meeting the current requirements to run your cricket programs in a really safe environment. The third point there is the important coordinator information guide. So this was a guide that was sent out in the registration link for this training session. So ideally, you've had a chance to read that prior, but if not, that's not an issue. Again, we've got it linked here in this slideshow, and we will be sending this slideshow to you following this session. So probably at the end of the week, you'll receive all of these links along with all of the content. So that information guide is a really good, it's a really good 2-page summary of some of the really important things that you need to be across as a coordinator leading into the start of your program. And on the next slide, we're actually going to talk through one of those pages, which is a great little flow chart detailing some of your key actions that you should do prior to your program commencing. The fourth dot point there is something that I'm sure you're all very familiar with, is the check-in with the Service Victoria QR code. So yeah, it's something that we've been doing across the state for the last 12 to 18 months. So your club should have all of these QR codes already printed off and posted around all of your entry points and any, I suppose, assembly points or any points where people will be gathering. So that should be something that's already in place. One thing that we would strongly encourage for you in your program is wherever you are getting parents and kids to sign in prior to your program. So it might be that you've got a table and a bit of a check-in point set up in the middle of the oval, that you have the QR code there. So when parents and kids arrive, they can just simply check in with that code and away they go. And then the final point there is the Cricket Victoria COVID-19 resources website. So we've developed a fantastic website that has plenty of useful information for our cricket volunteers and clubs and associations. So on there, as I laid out before, is the association and club COVID-19 plan template. We've also got a great section on some frequently asked questions that might be your first point of call. Should you have any quick questions that come across your desk that you really need an answer to, they might be already answered on that page. And we've also got some great resources that you can post and print up around your club, just to ensure that everyone's aware of the rules that are in place. So things such as washing your hands, keeping a safe distance from people and things like that. So a really good website there. And again, we've put the link in there so you can access it once we send this presentation document through. Push on to the next slide. Thank you, Em. So as I said, this is one of the 2 pages that is in the important coordinator information guide. So essentially this page here is detailing a little flow chart of some key actions that you should undertake prior to your program commencing. So the first step there is the obvious one in setting up your Junior Blast or Master Blast program on MyCricket. So something that hopefully everyone here has done, but if not, yeah, logging into the MyCricket page, using your club's details and setting up the program. One thing that I will highlight here is a lot of clubs have set up their program with dates that are around sort of October or even sometimes September, just because they set it up very early and they weren't sure what dates we were going to be able to run. So if your club has done that, what we ask is you just go in and change those dates. And if you can't, because we do have some issues sometimes where if the program date has already commenced, then you can't, the dates are locked. If that is not able to happen, then we just ask that you put some detail in your program description page, the little section there, just detailing the exact dates of your program and that they have changed. It's really important for when parents or participants are trying to register that they obviously know the correct dates that your program is running, so they can pick the program that best suits them. So that's the first step there. On to step 2, which is once your program is up online and taking registrations, you need to promote your program and use some of the marketing tools that we have available to spread the word about your program. So as I said, we've got Kristen Penny, who's going to come on later and talk about promoting your program. And just in this little section here, we've got a couple of fantastic links that will take you to a webinar that we ran last year that details that goes for about an hour and details some great information on how to market your program, as well as a link to the marketing collateral that we have available for you to use. Step 3 there is promoting Anywhere Blast. So Anywhere Blast is a free online cricket blast program that we have developed with COVID sort of in mind, knowing that a lot of kids were at home and weren't able to participate in their face-to-face program when they normally would. So if you've got kids that are registering to your program and you've had to delay it to sort of mid-November, this online Anywhere Blast program is a great thing to promote to get them participating in some fun cricket skills at home, especially if they've already received their Cricket Blast pack, so they'd have a bat and a ball, so they're really ready to play. This online Cricket Blast program that is free is a great way to get them excited prior to your club face-to-face program commencing. And then the final point there, which is a really simple one, is it's time to enjoy some cricket. So something that is really simple to do probably a week prior to your program commencing is just to send an email out to parents, all of your registered participants, just generating a bit of excitement about the program, introducing yourself as the coordinator, and potentially just giving them some detail about your club program and anything that might be different or anything that you're looking to do in your first session. Fantastic. So we'll tick over to the next slide, and this is the last slide on this topic, which is just around adapting your program. So the first point there, which is also outlined in the important coordinator information guide, is the start date that we're recommending. So we're recommending a start date post reaching 80% double dose vaccination. For obvious reasons, it just means that we can run our programs in a really safe environment. It just gives us a little bit more certainty around what we can and can't do in terms of group size limits, which is that second point there. So there are currently no group size limits, which is fantastic. But what we would recommend, especially if you've got big programs, so anything sort of over 30 to 40 kids, is really separating those kids into smaller groups. As you can see down the bottom right there on the image, the one on the left there has got a program that has 120 kids, so 6 groups of 20. If you had sort of a group of 50 or 60, probably splitting them up into groups of 10 or 15 and spreading them out across the oval. So they're in smaller groups, they probably enjoy the activities a bit more, get more of a go, and there's just less kids in the group, so it's a bit more manageable. And then the picture on the right there is detailing a Master Blaster program, which Akshay is going to talk about a little later on in the presentation. The third point there on sharing equipment. So sharing equipment is okay, but what we do ask is just to try to minimise that where possible. So where we can, not having the same equipment used by all of the kids throughout one session, especially if you're able to separate them into smaller groups, keeping the equipment within that group. So if you've got one group that's participating in an activity, instead of that group rotating over and then using different equipment that had previously been used, just getting them to stay where they are and just altering the activity or the equipment to suit the next activity that you are running. And the fourth and final point there is on a welcome assembly. So again, this is something that Akshay will get into as well during his next bit. But this welcome assembly provides a great opportunity to get all of your kids and parents together prior to the session starting. It only needs to go for 5 minutes. Introduce yourself as the coordinator of the program, generate some excitement with the kids, get some parents to help out during the session, and then also just remind them of any requirements regarding COVID or any other requirements that the club or your program may have to let the parents and kids know. So a really good tip there just prior to your program commencing. I have done a lot of talking there, so I'm now going to pass that over to Akshay, who's going to talk through the session structure for Junior Blasters and Master Blasters. Over to you, mate.
Thanks, O. Some fantastic information there. I'm sure a lot of information that the coordinators can take back to their club to help them run a fun and engaging program this summer. Okay, so what you can see on your screen there is how a session or Junior Blaster session would look like. The picture on the right just illustrates how you can structure these sessions. But again, there is no one fit formula for them. As O just mentioned, it's based on the number of people that you have and how you want to go about doing these sessions. It's interesting to know that a lot of people haven't had experience doing coordinator roles in the past. So again, one little message here would be, don't worry, there's a heap of resources on the community cricket web page that you can use to get used to different ways you can run these sessions and make sure you provide a fun program for your blasters. You're not alone. That's another thing that I'd like to say. You've got your blast crew with you. So when I say blast crew, you've got your blast coaches, you've got your blast helpers. So your blast coaches help you run different activities. As you can see, if you've got 4 different activities, you need 4 blast coaches that help you go about running these different activities. And then your blast helpers, these are people that help you both on and off the field to run a fun and engaging program. So to get started, I'd say it's best if you and your blast crew can arrive at your venue 30 minutes prior to the session. So this would give you ample time to set up and plan your session before your blasters rock up, just to be on the front foot there. After you set up your activities, you can also lay some spare equipment that these young blasters can use to, one, interact with new mates, try and build some friendships there with other blasters, and also break the ice by trying to get all the parents to have a catch and a ball with their young blasters. When it's time to kick off, I'd say, as O mentioned, just bring them all together for a quick, short and sharp welcome assembly. This is a great way for you to explain the session, tell them what the session looks like, create a bit of buzz, and get them up and about and ready for the session, and also another opportunity for you to share some important COVID-19 rules and regulations that you want to keep in place for your program. After you've done that, you then pass it over to your blast coaches that help you run these 4 or 5 different activities that you want to put forward for your session based on the number of kids that you have at your program. And then you just take a step back and ensure that these blasters are rotating through these sessions every 7 or 8 minutes, trying to keep them engaged and having fun. After you've completed all your 4 rotations, it's good that you can bring everybody together, ask your blasters to help you pack up, because you don't want to do all the picking up by yourself. So it's a good way for you to get your blasters to help in and also build a bit of teamwork skills there. So once you get all your blasters together, good opportunity for you to get some feedback from them. Just ask them how they went in their session, what are some of the skills they learned, and how they can bring it into their game. It's another way for you to break the ice and get everyone relaxed and build a good team culture within your program. After you've done that, you can also pick up some important drills that they like. So if, for example, a group like the catching drill, that is something that you can always replicate for your next session, just to keep them happy and engaged throughout your summer. After you've done that, you then ask your blast coaches to set up a blast game that's meant to be a bit more free environment where kids can enjoy and put all the skills that they've learned in the form of a modified game of cricket. And you can modify these games as your program goes ahead. So if you do feel like the kids are in a comfortable spot and can be challenged a bit more, you can widen the pitch, you can get a bigger space going to provide them with a bigger challenge the next time you have a blast game. But again, if there's a lot of information there, if you do have any questions on how you want to structure these sessions, please jump on the chat function and you can drop in some comments that we can answer through the session. So this there is a quick rundown on how a junior blaster session would look like. Again, one simple rule: as long as you're having fun, your blasters are having fun, your blast crew is having fun, it's all going okay. So that's the best way to put it forward. Now I'm going to talk to you about the Master Blaster format or the Master Blaster session structure. As you can see on your screen there, you've got two different snapshots of one, the ground setup, how a Master Blaster game would look like. And you've also got a structure there on your bottom right that shows you how you can set up different games on your same cricket pitch or on your cricket oval. So as O mentioned, if you've got a big number in your program, it's good that you have multiple games structured and planned so that you can cater to everybody and make sure you have smaller groups, making sure they're all actively participating and engaged during your time. So with the Master Blaster program, it is a slight extension in terms of time. So your Junior Blaster program runs for 60 minutes, whereas your Master Blaster program runs for 90 minutes. So this is an opportunity for you to, teach them some important skills. So as you can see there, you've got a skill zone that your Blast coaches can use as a platform to teach new skills. And then following on to your Blast game, which is a modified game of cricket, where Blasters can put all the skills that they've learned throughout their experiences from Junior Blaster and various skill zones into a game of cricket. There are different ways of, there are different resources on the community webpage that are going to help you understand how you can umpire and score these games, because it does look different. As you can see, there's a power play zone, there's free hit tees and whatnot. So there are different resources on the community page that you can use to understand how you can go about scoring and umpiring these games. With your Blast squads, I'd say it's better if you can have groups of 6 or 6 Blasters in each team. This way you can promote active participation and make sure everyone's getting a fair go and are learning something from these programs. Again, another simple rule: as long as you and your Blast crew are happy and the Blasters are up and about enjoying a game of cricket, I think you're doing a great job. So simple way to put that across. And having said that, I'm going to pass it over back to O, who's going to talk to you about some participant pack and how you can order some cricket equipment for your centers online.
Just had myself on mute there, did the classic trick. Here I go. Thank you, mates. And we just had a question come through around the equipment being delivered. So hopefully in this next slide, we answer that one for you. Firstly, we're just going to touch on participant packs. So we'll really go through this quickly because there's nothing necessarily for you as coordinators to action here. It's more just an awareness piece if you do have any questions from parents or kids. So as you can see on the left there, we've got a table showing what each kid, depending on what they're signing up to, receives. So there is a different pack for a first-time Junior Blast participant compared to a returning participant. So yeah, whenever they sign up to the program, they receive this pack as part of their registration. If you do have any questions from parents or kids regarding participant packs, and it might be that a specific piece of the pack was wrong or the delivery time it hasn't arrived yet, a little later on in the supporting resources page, we will provide you details for the Cricket Blast help desk, which is a phone number that you can call, as well as an email that you can write into. So they are the people to contact or to recommend your participants to contact should they have any issues with their pack. Fantastic. We'll go on to the next slide. Brilliant. So centre redemptions or centre equipment. So in the little table at the bottom left there, we detail what equipment you should receive depending on what sort of program you are. So I'll talk through it step by step. So the first one being a new Junior Blast Centre. So if you are a new Junior Blast Centre, so haven't operated a Junior Blast program before, when you activate your program and receive your first registered participant, you will be available or eligible to redeem an equipment kit through the online Cricket Blast shop that caters for 32 participants. So that kit will obviously, as participants grow, that kit will cater for 32 kids. Once you receive or once you have more than 32 kids register, you will receive $5 of credit through the online shop per participant. So to quickly just go through an example, if you have 40 kids registered to your program, you will be able to redeem your kit for 32 participants, and then you will receive through the online shop. You've got 8 extra kids, so you'll receive 8 times $5, which is $40 to top up some equipment to ensure that you've got enough to cater for all of your kids that are participating. The Junior Blast Returning Centre, so if you've operated last year or in previous years, when you activate your program and have your first participant register, or every participant that does register, you will receive $5 of credit to top up your equipment from the previous years. So if you have a program with 20 kids, you'll receive 20 times $5 to purchase equipment through the online shop. Talking about Master Blaster equipment now. So if you are a new Master Blast Centre, so again, haven't operated before, you are available or you are eligible to have a free kit sent to you, and that kit will cater for the amount of kids that you have participating in your program. So that kit will be ordered for you by Emily and Akshay when your program has some kids registering and we know the quantity of equipment that we need to purchase for you. So that will be done through the online Cricket Blast shop, and we will get your details either from My Cricket or it'll be contacted to find out where we should be delivering that stuff. So that will be done in collaboration with your cricket managers as well, just to ensure that everyone is across what equipment you are receiving. And then Master Blast returning centres, again, the exact same as a Junior Blast returning centre. You will receive $5 for every participant that registers to your program to top up equipment from previous years. So again, this equipment is all available through the online shop, and we've got a couple of pictures there that detail how to get there through your club's My Cricket page. Just quickly checking to see if there are any questions or have they been answered okay?
Yeah, so there's one really good question from Bob there in terms of how, if he can run a hybrid program, because he's got lesser numbers in country areas. So that's something that we can answer towards the end of the program. Towards the end of the presentation, I can get to shed some light on that topic for you, Bob. So hold on to that.
We'll be happy to. I'll now hand it over to Em, who's going to talk about creating a fun and engaging program for participants and also parents.
Excellent. Thank you, Owen. So before we get into this one, we're going to fire up the chat again. We've seen some great questions coming through, but we're going to get you all to pop in there some ideas and share some strategies that you've possibly had to engage participants within your club. So I'll probably touch on a few of them within here, but it'd be great to hear that you out in Clubland, what it is that you use to try and keep your kids engaged and make your program the best one in the area. So as we said, we want to make the program the best, and obviously that means making the program somewhere that the kids want to keep returning to and keep coming back to. So it's all well and good to recruit kids and go out and get as many participants as we can, but we want them to keep coming back week after week and then year after year as well. And also going to school and telling all their mates about it, how fun it is, and getting them to bring more kids down to the program. So how do you do that? So the first step there is being prepared. Now, AK mentioned this earlier, with your blast squad arriving early, making sure that you've got time to set up, just so that you're not halfway through the session having to go and set up different activities and everything. So your full attention can be on the kids and making sure that the program's running nice and smoothly. In terms of having a plan and putting together a bit of an idea of the different activities that you want to run during your session, we have some awesome resources that give you a step-by-step guide and give you some lesson plans and everything, basically to just carbon copy straight out onto the field. You can obviously play around with those, and that's one of the best bits as well, is being able to adjust it based on what your kids want as well. An unofficial start is the next point there. So some kind of start where, it's just a bit casual, and you've got an opportunity for everybody to just sort of roll in when they get there and sort of getting involved, so that they're not sort of standing off to the sidelines and just waiting for you to call them all in and sit down and start from there. So you'll see in that little picture there that the girls there are sort of just having a bit of a hit and giggle with the equipment there, so just sort of a bit of free play, but it could also be something a little bit more structured. And AK mentioned this earlier as well in terms of a throwing and catching maybe. You might get the parents involved and everything too. It's just a really great opportunity for you to have a chat to the parents that are around, introduce yourself, and then also for the kids to mingle and get to know each other as well. We recommend keeping the groups nice and small. Owen did mention this earlier, sort of that 10 to 15 size group is really good. It's manageable for the volunteer that is there to help you out. It also makes sure that all the kids get a go, and it makes sure that they all feel like they've got something out of it, I think. So making sure they've got a bit of time with the coordinator there to help them work on their skills is going to be the best outcome for them. In terms of getting to improving their skills, we've got to keep those instructions really simple. So demonstrations are a really good way of getting the message across. All kids learn differently, and some of them will definitely be visual learners. So that's really key, to make sure that you give nice big demonstrations of your bowling or whatever it is, so the kids fully grasp what it is that the activity you're asking them to do. Keeping things simple is super important. So the kids will tell you what it is that they like. As I said before, you can mould your program around the kids. So if it is the same activity a couple of weeks in a row, but you change it slightly and they're enjoying it, then that's all you need to do. So we're not asking you to completely invent the wheel here. It's keeping things nice and simple is often the easiest and best way to go about it. Keeping the demonstrations and the instructions really simple too is really key. So not necessarily explaining everything at once, maybe breaking them down into little activities or little sort of sample parts to the instructions is really a great way for them to build up to the skill rather than be overloaded with a lot of information at once. The last point there is challenge the kids. So everyone will be at different levels. I saw someone in the chat before talking about, having 4-year-olds versus 9-year-olds and things like that. So all the skill levels are going to be different, and we've got to make sure that it's still engaging for all of them. So if the kids are sort of maxing out and sort of thinking, oh, I'm still winning at this activity constantly, while winning's always fun, it is really nice to be challenged and to make sure that, you are sort of keeping them engaged there by making it still fun for them. So having sort of a staggered approach can be a really good way of doing things. Different lengths of pitches and all of that sort of stuff, scoring system, point systems, they're all sort of different ways that you can change them up. We have some resources as well that we keep referencing, and I'll show you an example in the next slide, that are a really good way of breaking down how it is that you can actually change these activities up. So maybe make them harder or make them easier as well. So there's some really good examples. Hopefully we've got some stuff coming through in the chat, which will be fantastic. I think it's really great to just share with people from other clubs and see what it is they're doing at their program. So now we're going to get on to engaging the parents and the volunteers in the program, which is almost just as important as having the kids there. We need people to help us run our programs. So I'm going to get you to go in the chat again and give some examples of ways that you like to engage, or that you're trying to engage parents and volunteers into helping out with your program. So we mentioned small groups before. So small groups, and we said more volunteers to help run each of those, your blast coaches. So that obviously means we need helpers on the ground. So making sure that you sort of get out to all the parents amongst your program is really important. One way that you can identify those that might be really interested is when the parents register their children, there is an optional area that you can see in that white window there. That is an offer of assistance, basically. So it says there general helper on field, and that's sort of, or off field is another example, but the on field ones are hopefully the ones that are going to get out there and help you actually run the activities. Don't be deterred if they haven't answered the question. I reckon there's still ones that you can go and try and pester and get across the fence, but it's just a really good way of seeing that these people put themselves out there. So get in touch with them. You can email them and just introduce yourself and say, hopefully, you're still interested in helping out. We'd love to see you down at the first session and all of that sort of thing. Keeping the communication with these parents in particular and all the rest of the parents in the group that are going to help out, really regular and open, so that you're really explaining what it is that they're doing. You're managing expectations, and they're not rocking up to the session and getting a massive surprise of, here you go run a program with 15 kids about something that you have no idea about. So explaining what their role is, and then we offer them examples. So for example, that little card that you can see there, the coloured card that I referenced before, so that has the activity on it, how to set it up, some coaching points, some things to ask the kids and get them thinking about what it is that they're doing and the skill they're learning, as well as ways to make it harder or easier as well. So this is really handy, so that if you as the coordinator can't get around to all of your volunteers as they're spread out around the oval, they have at least got that card that they can reference and see how they can, change the activity if things maybe aren't going to plan, or if they're just looking for something else to sort of engage the kids there too. Making sure that the volunteers feel supported is really important. So as I said, you may not be able to get around to them, but thanking them obviously for giving up their time and everything, and just making them feel valued. I think it's a really good way of also encouraging them to get involved, as having time with their kids. Busy parents may not have a heap of time to spend a lot of one-on-one with them out in the backyard and playing cricket or whatever. So here's a perfect example of a little bit of time slot where they can get out and be involved with their kids. So you can frame it in that way to make it a positive sell for them as well. Speaking of the kids, getting the kids to using the kids to engage the parents will be really important. We saw at some programs that I've run in the past where, the parents sort of stand back a little bit. They don't really want to, smother their kids and, let them have their sort of time out there. And sometimes they may not feel like they're necessarily welcome out on the field, but it's really important to encourage them to get out. And maybe it is a, parents versus kids game of some sort, or you pair them up with their parent or guardian that's with them there and play a game. And then that way, once they're out there and, you've got them involved, that hopefully they feel more comfortable in staying out there on the field, and then maybe they'll be returning week after week. So don't be afraid to ask them a couple of times maybe to head back out there, because they might feel like that was a one-off thing. So just making them feel really welcome, and then getting the kids to put a bit of pressure on them for you as well is really important. And the last point there, Cricket Australia are developing a engaging and recruiting volunteers guide. That will be coming out pretty soon. So that'll be on the Community Cricket website shortly. So keep an eye out for that, because that'll be a fantastic resource to assist with your program. Now, I'm going to pass on to our brand and marketing manager, Kristen Penny, who's going to talk to you about promoting your program. But I might throw to Owen first and see if there's any questions that we need to answer in the chat first.
We're all good, Em. I managed to respond to a few in the chat, and some great examples of how to engage kids, and also parents from a few people. So fantastic. Keep the comments coming through, and looking forward to hearing what KP has to offer here.
Oh, it's not that exciting, but welcome everybody. My name's Kristen, or KP as everyone calls me. So I've got over 15 years of marketing experience working at within tourism at Visit Victoria in the major events team, at the Melbourne Vixens and Netball Victoria, and now at Cricket Victoria. So I like to think I know a little bit. Even though I have that degree though, everyone is a marketer. Look, to be honest, I don't really need the degree. It's not that hard, trust me. So the great thing is everybody can do it. All you need is a bit of a computer, and you'll be able to do it. So the first part we talk about here is some social media. So we have collateral that's available, as you can see there with the pictures Em's put up, that are Stars and Renegades colours. So you can use that on Facebook. I would be surprised if there isn't a cricket club in Victoria that doesn't have a Facebook page. So make sure that you put it up there, and make sure that the items are actually shareable as well, because the more people that share it, that's, some free marketing there for your program. Also Instagram as well. Twitter, not so much. Twitter is more of a news feed. So I would really concentrate on Facebook. Maybe organise some Facebook events on your Facebook page of, come and tries and things like that, which will be able to assist you there. We also have editable flyers, which are available on a special Cricket Victoria website page, which the link is there. They are also Stars and Renegades branded and allow you to put in your cricket club information, which is great. So there's only certain things we can do with the actual collateral because it is all sent to us by Cricket Australia, and we've made some slight changes to assist you all in promoting your programs. Now, a great opportunity is schools. Everybody knows children has children that goes to schools in the regions or, you know, the areas that you are. Ask them if you can put an ad in their newsletter. We've all received a newsletter in our backpacks when we were younger. We've also, you know, now they're a bit more up to date. They email them out. You know, there's a great opportunity to go and speak to the front office and ask them if you can put one in there, and, you know, butter them up a bit and say to them it's about getting kids active and out there. You know, make them feel a little bit guilty if they were to say no and say, oh, but, you know, it's for the kids to get out there and active. So just have a chat to the front office about that. Also communicate with the PE teachers and ask around your club to see if anyone at the school knows anyone that is teaching there. If you don't know the PE teacher, the reason I say PE teacher is obviously they are the ones that are getting our children active out on, you know, the cricket pitch or the netball court. So make sure that you kind of build that relationship, get them to come down to your club and see what you're doing, and also offer to assist them or give them some tips and tricks as well to get more cricket being played at the school as well. Next one, please, Em. And local media, don't underestimate local media. Call the local sports desk. A journalist hates doing writing. Funny, I know, but if you give it all the information to them, you essentially write the media release, they will print it. Also, ask them to come down to your club on a weekend or, you know, after a training or something, and hit them up with a beverage and something to eat. You're bound to get them on side. They need items, articles in their newspapers, and you've got the avenue to give it to them. So go and, you know, call up the sports desk, build that relationship, have a chat, have a beer or a Coke or whatever, and have a chat with them. Also, there's an opportunity for you to pay a small fee, and trust me, it is a small fee because I've done a number of signs over my time, and this Scoop offer where they actually personalize your banner to the club is very, very cheap. So if you go onto that website, you can order your own banner to hang up at your club or to hang up at a fence nearby that promotes your program. And also, like I said before, everyone is a marketer, every single one of you. You know, we've all seen those ads on TV. I'm going to mention a different sport, but the AFL and that Google ad, and she had a blinder. Like, you know, just think of everything is word of mouth. I don't know how many people I've spoken to about that ad because it's just so memorable. So talk to people. You're in the supermarket, you're at the petrol station, you are anywhere. Talk about the programs, talk about cricket, talk about we're out of lockdown, freedom, we're getting active. Get out there. And especially at school drop-off and pick-up, it's a great time as well to have a chat with people and ask them, has your child played cricket before? Get them down there again for a come and try, get them into it, and Bob's your uncle, really. So, yeah, feel free to ask me any questions. More than happy to help. If you don't have a question tonight, but you have one later, just reach out to the team and they'll get me there. And if you need me to do a little presentation or anything to your clubs, please let me know and I'm more than happy to assist with you. That's my job, is to assist the cricket community. I'm more than happy to help you all out. Thanks, O&M.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, KP. And yeah, as KP said, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the chat or hang around after the presentation and we are more than happy to answer your questions as well. So just finishing off, obviously we've spoken a lot about the different things involved in coordinating your program. So here we're just going to put together all of the supporting resources that are available to you to assist you in running that program. So the first one there, which we touched on earlier, is the Cricket Blast help desk. So there's a number there, 1800 cricket, as well as an email. So cricketblast@cricket.com.au. Any questions that you have about the list of things there? So you might have some program refunds, equipment delivery, as we mentioned before, any queries on participant packs or My Cricket support. So if there are any issues with, activating your program or anything My Cricket related, the Cricket Blast Help Desk are the team to call. And really, if you have any questions at all, that number's a great number to call, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction if they can't find the answer. The next one there is Cricket Victoria webinars. So last year we ran some fantastic club development webinars that were for our clubs, associations and volunteers. So I've just listed a few things there that we covered throughout those webinars, and you can find them at the link that we've provided there. So we've got webinars on marketing, volunteer recruitment, child safety, and also growing girls cricket. So any one of those four things is potentially something that you might need to cover throughout your time coordinating your program. So whenever you've got some time, those webinars might be a really fantastic thing for you to jump on and have a look at. We've also got the community cricket website, which we've referenced a few times throughout this presentation. So that community cricket website is now essentially the Cricket Blast app. So the Cricket Blast app has been discontinued, and this community cricket website is mobile friendly and essentially now holds all of the great things that we previously used on the app is on this community cricket website. So things such as the coordinator handbook, we've got activity videos. So each of the activities that we've created for you to run throughout your program, we've got some great videos detailing how to run them, as well as the skill cards, which provide some great detail on how you run those activities. We've got some online training, which would be a great thing for you to do following this course or this webinar that you've just participated in. So that online training, especially for you, for the coordinators that are in their first year, that training will really deep dive into the specifics of coordinating a program and give you some really great tips, probably going further into it than what we've done in this webinar. So a fantastic resource there for you. And yeah, there are many other things on that website. So jump on to that link and have a look around. And then the final one there is your local cricket managers. So as Em outlined in one of the first slides, just detailing the different regions that we have across Victoria, each of those regions has a local cricket manager who is there to support you and your club or your Cricket Blast program in having a really great season. So if you're not sure who that cricket manager is, I'm sure that there's someone at your club, so either your club president, junior coordinator, whoever your key contact is at your club, will definitely know who that cricket manager is and be able to put you in contact with them should you have any questions or want any support from them. And then again, just referring you back to the Cricket Blast help desk. If you have any questions and you're really not sure, that's a great place to start. That brings us to the end of our presentation. So before we take any questions, I'd really just like to take this time on behalf of Em, Akshay, myself, and KP to thank you all for jumping on and participating in this training session. It's greatly appreciated, and it shows that you're really keen and wanting to make a fun, engaging and safe program for all of your participants, which is really why we're here and what we want to be doing. So a massive thank you to all of you. And again, just thank you for taking up this role at your club. It's a really important role, And if you can cement a really solid Cricket Blast program, it goes a long way to ensuring that many kids throughout Victoria continue to have fantastic experiences in participating in cricket for many years to come. For so many of them, it's their first step into cricket, and so you guys are playing a really important role in ensuring that they have a great time. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very, very much.